Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a hands-on overview on how to upload videos to YouTube using the Python API. This will allow you to automate the uploading of videos you have on your computer or maybe on a server, maybe videos that are auto-generated or maybe videos that you just have locally to your YouTube account. All right, let's dive in and see how this works. So I have this channel and there is no content here. I just created this YouTube channel, and the first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna go to seeing how to register an application. And one thing that might be required is that create your Google Developer Pro personal experience, blah, 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 dismiss. One thing is I'm gonna go through all of this, and today I'm gonna be stumbling upon things, and I don't know if I'm gonna complete this, because I've just done little tests here and there, but we're gonna try to see if we get to learn how to do this, and I'll be documenting some steps. Obtaining authorization credential. Your application must be authorized, have authorization credentials to be able to use the YouTube Data API. All right, so we have two types of authorization credentials. Auth 2.0 and we have API keys. And a request that does not provide auth token might send an API key. The key identifies your project and provides API access, quota, and reports. Okay, so we'll put that here. The key identifies your project, API access, quota, and reports. Whenever your application requests private user data, it must send an auth token along with the request. And here we say that our application, the application first sends a client ID and possibly a client secret, client ID and client secret to obtain a token. All right, so this approach, the auth token approach, is usually more involved, and the API keys are usually easier to use, but easier also to compromise. To keep your API keys secure, follow the best practices for securely using API keys. If you're new to Google Cloud, create an account to evaluate how products perform in real-world scenario. New customers will get $300 in free credits to run, test, and deploy workloads. Managing API keys. Okay. Navigate to the APIs and services credentials panel in Cloud Console. Create credentials. Blah, blah, blah. Is a long string such as this. Okay, one thing today is that I need to be careful not to compromise the API key, because anyone arguably could use my account, but this account is empty, so if that gets compromised, it's not going to be a big deal, but I'll try to be careful. All right, so the credentials page is here. Also in here we need to create a project. So let's see, enable APIs and services, create a project. So we need to create a project. And to create a project, I just go to the credentials page and then click on create project. We're gonna have to enter a project name and a location, organization optional. Okay, so we'll pass on that and we'll call this live 70, so I know it cannot be changed later. All right, so live 70, I think that's okay. Let's do 7001. And you have to have project remain in your quarter, request an increase in or delete projects. Okay, we do that and then we click create. All right, so we click here and our project should now be ready and created. So we now have here a project, but it doesn't show on this page. It shows above here, Google Cloud Platform. All right, so your project should now be showing in the drop down next to Google Cloud Platform. Now view in project, blah, 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 in organization. Remember to configure auth consent screen with information about your application. API keys, also credentials, dismiss, enable API and services, create credentials. So we'll go now to open the, so now click select create credentials. And I'm guessing because I don't remember right now. So create credentials, and here we have either API key, auth client ID, or service account, enable server to server. This is actually another type. So this is service account, and we can add it here. Service account, app level using robots, server to server, app level authentication using robot accounts. And I guess the one that we want to use is API keys today. We don't have any accounts, so we're gonna do create credentials, click on API key. Let's see, so this is my API key, which, yeah, so this is something I shouldn't be showing. This is a bad practice, and I'm simply gonna delete this API key. Okay, let me do one thing. So I'm gonna delete this API key quickly and go. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do that again. So I'm gonna do it in the side here. I'm gonna copy the key and I'm gonna delete it quickly. All right, so we don't have any keys anymore. All right, so my key, API key, you first need to create a project. Go to the credentials page and create one. All right, so we put a project name, optional, organization, and then click create. Open the credentials page again, then select create credentials and select here, we're gonna do API key, right? So this is what we did, create credentials, API key, and then that creates the key. And we can delete it here. So I've deleted the key, and a key similar to this one should be created for you. So this is the API key that Google created, and I just removed it, so it's deactivated and it's not usable. But a key like this one is the one that we're going to be using, and hopefully that works for us with the YouTube API. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to create one and leave it there. All right, I'm going to close this, and I guess now I have this API key. I can edit it, and I can call live 7001. So the API key should be here, but I removed it. So what you can see here on screen is the name of our key, right? Like we can say here key 0 if we want. The key is unrestricted. To prevent unauthorized use, we recommend restricting where and for which API can be used. An application restriction controls which websites, IP addresses, or applications can use your API key. You can set one application restriction per key, IP addresses. All right, so for instance, this is a good thing for me today, right? So if I do this, I can go to my IP, I can get my IP address, and then I can set this as the restriction. So done. API restrictions specify the enable APIs that this key can call. Restrict key. And now we're going to restrict the key. So once created, now click on the 3 dots in the row of your key and select edit key. So we've basically in here, right? I've gone to this, and in here, I've gone to edit API key. So I've clicked, and this is the menu that shows. So we want to apply setup application restrictions. For instance, you can restrict to your own, to your IP address while you're developing, and then API restrictions, which we're gonna select restrict key, and we're gonna select, for example, YouTube, even though YouTube is not here, which I don't understand. Maybe Google Cloud APIs, I don't know where YouTube, it might blah blah blah. Okay, so API restrictions, YouTube API. Let's see what we need here. What API does this belong to? Google API Console, BigQuery, Google Cloud API, service usage, create a project, and obtain authorization credentials, enabled APIs, visit the enabled APIs, go to the API. All right, so in here, create a project. This is another guide, right? So go to create a project in Google Developers Console. You need a Google account to access your Google API console. Request an API key and register your application. So create a project in the Google Developers Console and obtain. Okay, so source this and the API console and select the project you are registered. Okay, so here we are. And now visit the enabled APIs page. In the list of APIs, make sure the status is on for the YouTube data API v3. Okay, enabled APIs. Make sure YouTube data, but we want, okay, so I do have here the other link that I saw last time for uploading a video. So data API. Okay, so this is the data API. So this is the one. And we're going to enable this. So note that I'm enabling this for the current Google account in my Google Cloud Platform account. And now that is going to show in here. And if we go to enabled APIs and services, we should be seeing this in here. YouTube. All right, so now that is gonna give us the possibility to go back to this menu, and we probably have to refresh. So don't restrict and then save. So YouTube now is showing here, so I can select YouTube data v3. I've regenerated the key above, one API, so save. And the only thing I had to do is to regenerate the key. So for that, you just go into edit key and then regenerate the key inside. One thing that you can do to avoid showing your key on the terminal, we say export API key and then nonos live 70 YouTube key. Imagine this was my key, right? And then from any script, we can do this. So if we execute a command, we could say, for example, bash command sh, and then maybe pass here the API key. And that would do something like that. Bash command and then pass the key. But we don't have to show it because we can simply put API key as a variable. So that's what I'm going to do on the other screen. So API key, I'm going to set it to my YouTube key. And now I have it. Let me see. This works on any session. Yeah, that works only for the current session. So, if I open a new window, API key is not defined. All right. So let's see, we have our API key. Using an API key, pass the API key into the REST API as a call query parameter. Replace API key with your API key and then do that. All right. Okay. So now we do have the API key and it should be working. We can use a client library. So we can use this with PHP, Python, or many other things. So I think the one that I chose was Python for simplicity, like to make it a bit easier for us. So this is the Google API client. And I think, if I'm not wrong, I already have the code here. I think this is the Google API Python client. Yep. And I believe that we can simply call these commands here. So let's see if we don't have the YouTube environment in Conda at the moment. Conda M list. Okay, so we can create this one. So with this command here, so we can do Conda create YouTube Python 3.8 and then activate that one. And we're gonna say yes here. So that is for this command and run. So this is, as always, we do this in Python. So this is creating an Anaconda environment in which we'll install the required package. We are now in this environment. So if I do which Python, you can see that we are in a Python inside of YouTube, right? Into the name that we put. And if we call Python version, we have 3.8, which is what we requested in here. All right, so now we need to install it. So pip, we can do here pip install because we're inside of our Conda environment, pip install a Google API Python client, and later we can execute a command, which is Python C from API client discovery import build and then print build. So that is just a sample command from the API client, and we just want to try that it works, that we can import and run. All right, and that works, right? If we had done something that doesn't exist, it will have told us that model doesn't exist, or that the package that we're trying to do here doesn't work. All right, so, but it does work. And that means now that we can do, so let's see, projects, live, and then make there 70. We're going to touch a script.py script and edit this folder. We could dispose the environment as this shows here. Okay, so now that I'm doing this, I'm gonna open Visual Studio Code, open our script, and we have to find a way to use the key without showing it on screen. But first, what we're gonna do, I'm just going to copy this code and try to run it in here. So let's see if we do Python script, that works. Okay, so now we can go and look at the code. So we're gonna install that package for Python. So we can simply copy this, right? And they even have Python samples. So let's take a look. Actually, first, let's take a look at what clients they have. So early stage libraries are also available. Go, Node, Ruby for Dart, and PHP seems to be listed here as if it's not anymore like early stages. Has a bunch of people using it, and this is really promising. Oh, Composer, nice, because I do use a lot Laravel, which is PHP, so you can also use the PHP beta, the Google API client library for PHP beta. Okay, and we can put this here. All right, so yeah, I guess we don't need to look at the PHP implementation at the moment. We have the Python samples, but these can be used Objective-C, .NET, JavaScript, and Java, which is pretty cool. TypeScript I'm missing, but I guess you can use the JavaScript from there. Samples by API. So let's see if they have samples for YouTube, Data API. Awesome. Programmatic access to YouTube features. Okay, so let's take a look. So let's explain here the YouTube Data API provides programmatic access to YouTube features. And we have the samples here. Docs are in this PyDoc. Host a separate vendor, you can find them here. YouTube API samples. Maybe let's just look. All right, so API samples, a player, done. Okay, add feature YouTube. All right. Okay, Python API samples, and maybe we can even link to the PHP API samples. PHP. Okay, so this is the same, but in Python. Upload a video. Let's see if upload a video is here. Upload video. All right, so we already have the scripts, so I guess we can simply copy paste and try it. But yeah, let's just quickly do this. So this is upload video, so we'll simply touch here, upload video.py, and then open that on Visual Studio Code. All right, so I'm just pasting this code here, which I don't like doing a lot, but anyhow, so max free tries, there's some setup here, client secret. What version of Python is this? Okay, let's just try to run it to see. Why is this seems to be really old. Let's take a look. This is also old, and I'm not sure what version of Python this is, if this is Python 2. But yeah, I guess we can fix that. Okay, so this is how you would run it. Python upload video.py, and then client ID, client secret, Register your application with Google so they can use Auth2 protocol to authorize access to user data. To use this, we might need to create an auth. How can we use the API key instead? Let me see. Okay, so let me see. So I'm not sure if we can actually take a look at, so use an API key with the Google Python API. Let's try to check on that. Key. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the samples and see. It seems like the normal way here is to have the client's secrets file. So I'm not opposed to that. So we can also create auth client IDs. Let's create the consent screen. Only available to use your organization. You will need to submit your app for verification. Okay, so only internal, because you're not a Google Workspace user, you can only make your external to any test user with testing mode. Okay, yeah, so create. This is only in testing mode. App information in the consent screen. Okay, so no.ma live support email here, app logo. Maybe we can upload one of the profile pics. All right, app domain. To protect you and your user, Google only allows apps using Auth to use authorized domains. The information will be shown to your users on the consent application homepage. Users provide users a link to your homepage. Missing domain, none of ma, add domain. All right, none of ma. And developer contact live.nonodema@gmail.com. All right, save and continue. Let's see. Okay, add or remove scopes. We only want to be able to use the YouTube. Okay, YouTube data. Okay, let's see. So in here we do have, let's see, scopes. So you see these scopes are, let me write that down here. Okay, so create an API key, but we can also remove this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put here create auth to credentials, and we also open the credentials page, and the only scope that we seem to need here, so auth YouTube, seems to be youtube.upload, and that is good because that restricts our application, right? What our application can do, and we can update here, so that's what our application can do. All right, select the, so add scopes. For example, we wanted this one, and so maybe they call it like this, whatever. We can leave the full thing. All right, so save and continue. And test users, while publishing status is testing, only test users are able to access the app. Let's just put here live.nonodema.com so nobody else can actually test it. We'll then add test users, and then we save and continue. All right, so this is our summary of their application, and then we go back to the dashboard. Testing. Your token grant 5 minutes, 1 day. Token grant rates limit how quickly your application can get new users. Your current per day token grant days limit 10,000. All right. Okay. I'm not sure what this means. Once you set your application in production, your app will be available to anyone. Testing, if your app is still being tested, you can set your start to testing. In this state, you can test your app with a limited number of users. Testing, so publish to production, no. Okay, so now we go to credentials, and now we can create an auth client ID. Application is gonna be, let's say, I don't know what this is, but desktop app and web app. Okay, this is gonna be a desktop app, and it's gonna be local. So YouTube uploader testing, so Python test. All right, so now we have this thing here, and I can download the JSON, and this is compromising my data, but unless you have access to my test account and my email, I don't think you can do anything. Otherwise, you'll be able to upload YouTube videos to my account, which is not super concerning for me right now, I would say. So client secrets, and also there's no one online at the moment. Okay, so we got this. So this is client secrets JSON, and I guess we just need to run a command. We'll get a lot of warnings that the thing is not formatted properly, but I think we can fix it quickly. Let's see if we can get a request done. We have the YouTube account, we do have our credentials. I was going to look for the sample request that they were providing to us here. Where is it? This is an overview, upload video. Okay, so I have the link in here. All right, and this is in here. What? Who is serving this? Okay, so where I wanted to go was not there, but here. Okay, sounds good. I can go there. The sample script does not do error handling. Okay, and Python 2.5 or higher? Yeah, higher, but it's Python 2 still. They should update the examples probably. All right, so we have here, let's put dark mode. So we have here this example, and we can modify this as a bash script in here, so we don't have to be rerunning that on the terminal. I can make this a bit bigger. Okay, so the video file, we're gonna put a video here, video.mp4, video uploaded automatically, description, hey there, this is at the description, keywords, let's try my machine intelligence, getting simple, no. All right, so category, YouTube video categories, IDs. So for us, it would be probably science and technology. So it's 28. And the privacy status, let's try with private first. And okay, so let's try this by itself. I think it will fail because we have a newer version of Python, so uploading file. We can probably just do this and try to change all the comments at once, but there will be other things probably that fail. Let's see. Except, okay, HTTP error E, print error, print space. Okay, no model name HTTP lib, so pip install HTTP lib, http.client. Let's see if we can do here Python C import HTTP client. Okay, so we just need to change HTTP lib import from HTTP import client. Is that it? No model name Google auth lib. Right, client secret. Okay, so it's client secret. Enter the authorization code. All right, so now we go to this URL. Okay, so let's see what we did on top of. So we did this, and what else did we do? We dated, accept, and print statements from Python 2 to 3. All right, so now this asks us for this. So I'm gonna put this on the other browser, and in an incognito window, I'll get this. So they're gonna send me a verification code to make sure it's me, and I have to activate my cell phone here, and I'll get an SMS. All right, so we're gonna put this here. All right, and we'll just select this account. We will have some verified this app. You've been given access to an app that's currently being tested. You should only continue if you know the developer that invited you. Okay, I think I know myself. And now, okay, so now this shows the screen that we did before. So this is the thing that we configured before. It says none of my life wants access to your Google account. When you allow this access, none of my life will be able to manage your YouTube videos, Make sure you trust none of them alive. You may be sharing sensitive information with this site. You can always see or remove access in your Google account. Learn how Google helps you share data safely. Use share data safely. Okay, yeah, and these two links just bring to my page. All right, so we continue. Okay, make sure you trust. Requesting access to protect your account, don't continue. Okay, so now I have to copy this thing. This is my bearer token, I think. Now we just go back here, we paste this, and we get more errors. All right, no such video file. Okay, that's expected because we haven't done anything. So I'm going to record this like a video, really quick video now. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a sample video that we're gonna upload to YouTube right now with the Python API. All right, so we get that video in here. It's 13 megabytes. We're gonna call it, so let's call that video, and let's run the command again. All right, so one thing from here, we need to do this to have the command be multi-line. Okay, invalid grant error, malform auth code. Okay, so I'm gonna go again and do the same thing. Okay, boom, uploading file. Okay, so this was successfully uploaded. All right, so this is now private, but this is the YouTube video ID. And now I can go back to my channel dashboard, go to content, and nothing is there. All right, now it's here, video uploaded automatically. We have the ID, which was printed in here, ends in XO, and we have the video, so I can access it because of my account. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a sample video that we're gonna upload to YouTube right now with the Python API. And all right, so here comes a limitation that I've seen before, and this is probably why people like Lex Friedman uploads his videos at 1080, and that is because we are limited to upload 1080 videos from the API. I'm not sure, but let's see, quality. Okay, let's just quickly take a look at that, and then we'll stop. We'll finish today. Okay, so upload a video. All right, so this is 2K video that we uploaded, and it's saying sometimes that it takes time. So HD is processing. So HD is already here. So this is 1080. It's a sample that we're gonna. So I'll just have to check back and take a look to see if there's like higher quality being uploaded. Okay, so this is a great start. The last thing I'll test is if we can actually make this video public. Let's test that quickly. I think we need this all the time. I don't know, maybe we don't need this all the time, but let's just authenticate again. All right, so now we should have a video that has been published publicly, visibility public, pending. So I'm not sure when, but this, just give it time to process. You think the 2K video, this one? So this is at, oh, okay. So now it's at 2K. Awesome. Great. This is pretty promising because we're thinking of uploading a lot of videos and like cuts from the podcast and from the live stream automatically. And I think you can even upload captions. Awesome. Yeah, so we do have 2K here. So this is 2K. And yeah, because the video is just 14 seconds, it took no time, but usually this will take a lot longer. All right, and this one is publicly available. So no views. And yeah, I guess like this is processing still. But yeah, this is pretty cool. Okay, so that was the overview on how to upload videos to YouTube. I hope that was useful, and I hope to see you next time. Feel free to like the video if you enjoyed this content, and to subscribe if you want to get notified when I upload future videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.